Who says so? Good morning, family and friends, and welcome to this live broadcast. Also to this new day, a beautiful day, our great day, our day of health, our day of power, our day of strength, our day of clarity, our day of exploit. We have the will and the power to make things happen because we are life. We are eternal. We are unstoppable. We are infinite. We are natural. We are indestructible. So I welcome you to this broadcast where we feel free to share knowledge, the knowledge of factual truth. So I welcome you and encouraging you to say the truth you know. Don't say what you believe. Say the truth you know. If you don't know, keep researching to know. There is no limit to what you can know. You can know more than you fear. You can know more than you believe. You can know more than you think. You have your brain to judge and make right decision. So I'm encouraging you, the woke nation, the awakened Africans, to do more research, listen, read, do all things possible to gain knowledge and spread it free of charge. We are not in this for money, okay? So the woke nation or awakened Africans is not a movement or an organization where you should join. So maybe when you need money, they will give you money. No. If somebody needs money, you have money, you give to the person, and don't let any person cajole you into giving. Give out of what you have and give it willingly at your own time and at your own pace. Let no one push you around, no matter what. Okay? I titled this Our Ancestral Wisdom. Our great African ancestral wisdom that many of us has abandoned. We don't care to know them. It's not our fault though, because the wicked ones destroyed most of our ancestral, things that we should have looked up and know better. So they did not teach us that in school. They forced us to learn their ways in schools, in institution of learning. So that's why we get to where we are today, confused people, enslaved people, people that don't know who they are, people that bearing other race names and the other race don't care about their names, people that are speaking other race language and the other race don't care about their language. So we as a people, Africans are the confused people in the world today, the enslaved people in the world today. You can argue all you want and say it's not true and start blaming your own African brothers and sisters for your downfall. No, don't blame Africans for whatever situation they are in today. They were forced into it. They were great in history. Their ancestors were great until the demons, I call them demons, invaded and destroyed our ancestors and what they have, which I will spend some time to share with us. And I would like to start this with the Bible, because they use the Bible to teach us away or taught us away from truth. So it is the Bible they use to teach us all the lies we believe in religion and in spirituality today. Bible, they use Bible to teach that. I've met some native doctors in my village that all still believe in the Bible. Of course, almost, if not all, the native doctors in Igbo land today were one time Christians. They used to go church before, but now they say, oh, no, I want to follow my ancestral way. I want to, follow Agunama and all that. They begin to say that is traditionalist, all that. But what we need to practice is the factual knowledge, the wisdom of our ancestors. And one of the ways they make us to abandon our ancestral wisdom is vilifying them, demonizing them, telling us that they are ancestral cause. If you go to them, if you go through them, if you live by them, Curse will follow you, not blessing. Your blessing will only come from above, from God Jehovah, from God Allah, from God Yahweh, from Jesus, from Mary, but not from your African anything. No, it's darkness, it's demonic, it's evil. That's the lie they taught us. And I still wonder why you, a grown person, should still continue in that lie after you find out the truth. You think that people that enslave your ancestors, people that killed your ancestors, people that destroyed the library of your ancestors, people that destroy everything your ancestors left behind to teach you who they really are, you think those people will really care about you? No way. They are there for themselves. They keep coming to your land, not to help you, not to better you. No, it is to keep the heart going deeper, to keep you ignorant. So talking about our ancestral wisdom, it's in the Bible, in Acts chapter 7, verse 22. Acts chapter 7, verse 22. He said, and Moses, remember Moses never existed, but you know, they stole the content of the Bible, Torah and Quran from our ancient ancestors, tampered with it, you know, forge it and put some names there and some words and force it on us as the word of God. He said, and Moses. If you say, oh, Moses existed, you're gonna, okay, nobody saw the body of Moses according to the Bible. And nobody knew where they say God buried the Bible, buried Moses according to the Bible. And apart from that, okay, when you're talking about Moses, right? When you say Moses is supposed to have children behind, so there is no family, there's no one that have DNA that connect them to any Moses. No. Moses have brothers also. Have brother, which is Aaron, which was Aaron. Had sister, which was who? Miriam, right? So there's supposed to be a relation, a relative, somebody from the bloodline of Moses. It does not exist. No bloodline of Abraham, no bloodline of Jesus, no bloodline of Mary, no bloodline of Jacob, no bloodline of Isaac, no bloodline of Muhammad, no bloodline of all those characters in the Torah, in the Bible, in Quran. No. You don't need to go anywhere to dig to know. Let them show up. You cannot. We have DNA today. No one can trace them. He said, and Moses was learned, was educated, was taught, was loaded in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, not with the wisdom of the Israelites, not with the wisdom of the Asians, not with the wisdom of the Europeans, not with the wisdom of the Babylonians, but the wisdom of the Egyptians, our great African ancestors. I am ancient Egyptian. I am not an Egyptian. I am ancient Egyptian, which was called Kemet, which was called Akebulam, covering Egypt, Ethiopia, Nubia, and all over the places, including the place you call Middle East today, our land. They stole from us. And Moses was learned, not anointed. Moses was learned, not called by God and given wisdom by God. Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. We need all the wisdom of the Egyptians. We don't need half of it. We don't need part of it. We need all. We need all the knowledge of our ancestors, the science they left behind, that the wicked one can still destroy and kill for. We need to know them all. It's not lost. It was stolen. It was taken. We can restore, we can recover them. And I've been showing us how we can recover our heritage. recover our African ancient powers. That's only way we can recover them. Stop playing all this spirituality nonsense with those powers. We need to have the knowledge to recover them, and restore them and use them to recover our heritage. All the wisdom of the ancient African Egyptians are our ancestors. He said, and the result of that was he became mighty in wars and in deed. How can you become mighty in wars and in deeds? Africans today, you have to go back and get the knowledge of all the wisdom of your ancient ancestors. You need to learn that your ancestral wisdom. It is not magic as evil. It is not spirituality as religion. It is science, knowledge. Know who you are. Know what your ancestors did. Do you know everything your ancestors did? No. You only know the lies they told you your ancestors did. Your ancestors did not do those evils. Your ancestors did not say those lies. The wicked ones who is still oppressing you today made those things up. Africans will become mighty in wars and deeds again if we can restore and learn our ancient African wisdoms. Wisdom is what they did, their exploits. You can still see the great pyramids standing. You can still see the great sphinx standing. There are many structures, statues they left behind that for thousands of years, they are still standing to show you that our greatness is also eternal, just as we are. We are indestructible. There is no Egypt without Abraham. There's no Egypt without Moses. There's no Egypt without Jesus. There is no Egypt without Isaac. There's no Egypt without Jacob. There is no Egypt without Christianity. There is no Egypt without Islam. There's no Egypt without Judaism. There's no Egypt without Mary. All of them copied from our ancient Egyptians, and that's why they hated us, and they put it in their book. In Exodus chapter 14 verse 13, if I'm still right, he said, the Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. They don't want you to survive. They don't want you to rise again, but they cannot stop the sun from shining again. Africans, the Akebulans, the Moors, we are rising and shining again. And that's why people like me are here. We are not here to make followers. We are here to wake us up. When the majority of us wake up, we begin to take the places of power, and we begin to recover our powers and recover our heritage. This place lied to you also, because half-truth is a lie. Moses did not learn only in the wisdom of Egyptians, unless they just used the Egyptians to cover the rest of Africans or the rest of black race. Because there's another man that taught Moses, not God. There is no God that gave Moses any commandment. There's no God that gave Moses any idea of how to lead a people. It were they copied it from our ancestors, great ancient Africans who were running their life, having civilizations, while the white men were still in the cave. Let me show you that man. Exodus chapter 18. Exodus chapter, I'm using the Bible to show you, for you to know. Because you say God gave Moses, no. There was law before the 10 commandments. There was law before Abraham. There was law before Moses. There was law before Judaism. There was law before Genesis. There was law before Yahweh. Understand that. Yahweh is a new boy in town. There have been gods rocking the world, doing great and mighty things, building great things before they came and said we are going to confuse them and stop them from building. Exodus chapter 18, verse 13 to 24. I will read. And it was so on the next day, Moses sat to judge the people. Remember now, God has not given them 10 commandments, but Moses sat to judge the people. With which law? Moses' was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Not God that was giving Moses any law or any commandment. Moses was taught according to the Bible in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. So, and that's what Moses used to judge the people in the wilderness. And the people stood before Moses from morning until evening. So when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people?" He said, "Why do you alone sit and all the people stand before you from morning until night? Why do you alone stand? Sit, why others are standing, waiting for you to judge them?" And Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people came to me to inquire of God." God was, the God he said they came to inquire, did not have enough brain to tell him, this is what to do. This is how to do this to be easy for you. Instead of people standing from morning till night or till evening, let me teach you how to do it. God cannot teach you anything. It is your fellow human being that can teach you, because we have brain. No God has brain. God have mouth, they don't speak. Gods have eyes, they don't speak. God have ears, they don't hear. God have hands, they can't do nothing. He said, when they have a difficulty, they came to me. They came to Moses, and I judge between one and another, and I make known the status. Remember the status of God and his laws. No 10 commandments yet. This is Exodus 18. No Exodus 28. No, God was not telling him any law. He learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, where they already have the 42 laws of Ma'at. Moses learned from the Egyptian book of coming forth by the day, which the white people call the book of the dead. Moses learned from that book. That's why he copied all the laws and the statutes he was using to judge these people of God. Because every God have their origin in Egypt. Every religion have their origin in Egypt, according to history. Verse 17. So Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that you do is not good. It is your fellow man that will tell you what you are doing, whether it's good or bad to you, not any God. Waiting on God to teach you, to guide you, to tell you is waste of time. Praying and fasting, waiting upon the Lord in the presence of God, they are all waste of time. He said, the thing that you do in the name of God is not good. It's only man that can do that. It's only man that can change what God ordained, because man created God. He said, both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourself out. Common sense solution for every problem. That's what we need. We don't need any spiritual solution. We don't need any religious solution. We don't need any godly solution. We need common sense solution. He said, for this thing is too much for you. This thing is too much for you. If human being can care about your weight, how about the God you claim to worship, you claim to believe in, and you said this God is almighty, yet he don't care about your burden. He don't care about your sickness. He don't care about your disease. He don't care about what you are going through right now. That you are still fasting and praying, going for night vigil, crying, oh God, heal my mother, oh God, save my father, oh God, save my children, oh God, look at my people. You keep praying and crying, but you don't know that God is Ba. His name is the Lord. The Lord means Ba. That's why that God cannot answer. That's why that God cannot respond. That's why that God cannot change anything in your life or around you. But you and your fellow human being can do that. He said, for this thing is too much for you. You are not able to perform it by yourself. No man is an island. A tree does not make forest. No one survives by himself. You need others to survive. We all need each other's shoulder to lean on. You cannot lean on your shoulder and be comfortable. You need others' shoulder to lean on. That's the only way you can survive naturally in this world. He said, listen now to me, to my voice. He did not say listen to the voice of God. Listen to me, listen to my voice now. You have been listening to God. You have been listening to that imaginary being. You have been listening to the Bible. You have been listening to Quran. You have been listening to Torah. Listen to my voice now. I'm not talking about some audible voice you hear in your head. I'm talking about the real voice, face to face. FaceTime, video chat, listen to my voice now. Enough of God, enough of religion, enough of spirituality. Listen to my voice now. The real God is about to speak. The real God speaks face to face. He said, I will give you counsel. And when I give you counsel, God will be with you. When man like me give you counsel, when we give you word, it is the word of God, because we are the real gods and goddesses. Our words are not empty. He says, stand before God for the people. He's showing now, since you believe you're worshiping God, let me teach you how to operate before this God. He says, stand before God for the people, so that you may bring the difficulties to God. God did not teach Moses this. A man taught Moses. And you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them the way in which they must walk, and the work they must do. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness. Hating covetousness, that's hating greed. How I wish all the men of God today hate covetousness. If they hate covetousness, you will see how life of their followers will be better. He said, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens, and let them judge the people at all time. Not God judging the people, not God, but people judging people. Then it will be that every great matter that they shall bring to you, but every small matter they themselves shall judge. So it will be easier for you, easy life, for they will bear the burden with you. Why are you bearing all that burden yourself? Why your fellow human being can help you bear it? You have a family. Start with your family. What is your family doing to bear that your burden? And stop, bearing it on yourself and it's killing you. I say, nobody's helping me, but you have a family. He said, if you do this thing and God so commands you, God cannot command anything. You see how they're putting God in it? No, God did not command Moses anything. God did not show Moses how to judge, how to select judges to judge the people. Then the hard matter they bring to him. God did not share that, but they keep putting God there. No. Say, do that, and God commanded, then you will be able to endure. You'll be able to last. And all these people will also go their place in peace. Order. What does verse 24 say? So Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law, not the voice of God, and did all that he had said. The voice of your father-in-law is better than the voice of God. The voice of your mother-in-law is better than the voice of God. The voice of man and woman is better than the voice of God. Stop fooling yourself with those imaginary God nonsense. An Ethiopian, the prince, the priest or prince of Midian, taught Moses how to rule the people, how to govern the people, how to judge the people, so that him and the people will all endure and go their places in peace. It is what man can do. No God can do it. With God, nothing is possible in reality. But with man, all things are possible when they come together and put hands together and work together. Read it. See the places they mention God. Verse 4. Let me go through something and show you something. How they mention God, yet God did not show up to help Moses see anything. And verse 4, it says, where is it? It says, and the name of the other was Eliezer, for he said, the God of my fathers was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. You see, he named his son Eliezer, that's Moses, and said, God of my fathers was my help. But God did not help him how to govern these people, how to judge these people that come standing with him before him morning till night. And he said God delivered him from the sword of Pharaoh, but God could not deliver him from the weight of judgment. What verse again? Verse 15, verse 8. Verse 8 says, still mentioning about God, he said, and Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord has done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. But God did not help him. God did not deliver him. Why his father-in-law? He said, I know how it is, like somebody telling lies, but you observe and find out, no, if this person, if this God is real, this thing will not be happening to this person. If the God Moses said dealt with the people of Egypt and delivered him from all those hardship and all that, if that God really existed, it wouldn't have been Jethro, his father-in-law, that would be telling him how to run his business in the wilderness with these people. Think, 15 and 16. He's bragging about his God, why his God is not real. That's what the thing I wanted to get there. Many people brag about their God, why their God is not real. When you observe them, when you watch them, you find out they don't know what they worship. He said, and Moses said to his father-in-law again, because the people came to me to inquire of God, I make known the statutes of God to them, the statutes and the laws of God to them. The God you are making his laws and statutes to them, did God don't care to teach you how to govern these people? Is it not the same thing many people are doing today? They're telling you they are preaching the gospel of God. They are preaching God. God is almighty. God is all that. But they're walking around with policemen who are guarding them. But they tell you their God can do all things. But you see them going to hospital for treatment. They tell you their God can do all things. Or they say they can do all things through Christ. Yet they cannot do anything except by themselves. They cannot do anything in the name of God, in the name of Jesus. So that's why he went there, and at least he said, so Moses father-in-law said to him, the thing that you do is not good. You can preach God all you want. You can claim God said. You can say God is the one using you to do all and whatever you are doing. But what you are doing is not good. What you are doing to yourself is not good. As an African, when you say you are a Christian, what you are doing to yourself is not good. Moses had the laws of God and the statutes of God, but he lacked common sense. So God without common sense is dangerous to your well-being. The law of faith without common sense is dangerous to your well-being. Did you hear what I just said now? God without common sense, without you using your brain, is dangerous to your well-being. Faith without you using your common sense is dangerous to your well-being. Law of God, having the law of God, practicing the law of God without you using your common sense is dangerous to your well-being. Just as they said, faith without works is dead. If your faith need works to walk, to have life, then you don't need faith. Use life. Use works. Works is all you need. Use your brain and do what you're supposed to do. Work with your hands, make your thing, and see how life is. Beautiful. Faith in God is not good for you. It's not good. If you must have faith in yourself and in your fellow human being, those around you who can help you in time of need. If you must believe, believe in yourself and believe in people. Stop believing in imaginary beings, imaginary gods and goddesses. Stop believing in a supreme being you never seen. If you must believe, believe in yourself. It is man that will teach you. You say it's not true. God is teaching you, you are lying. You went to school. Somebody taught you what you know. Whether you call it theological school, Bible school, secular school, whatever school it is, it was somebody like you that was teaching you that. Not God taught you anything. God cannot teach you anything. And you can teach yourself. That's why when you lay down on your bed, or when you are meditating, or when you are quiet, listening to yourself, you begin to hear your own voice. You say it is God. You heard the voice of God. No, it is your voice. There is no God that speaks to anyone, anywhere. God is non-existent and useless in reality. You're supposed to know that our great ancestors, African ancestors, can also teach you better through what they left behind. I'm not saying, oh, pray to our ancestors. They're not appearing to teach you anything. They left things behind us to learn from. And also through blood. They are in our blood. Why are you praying? If God is with you here, why are you praying, our Father in heaven? So he's no longer here. That's the confusion of religion and spirituality. Your ancestors are one with you. If they're one with you, they can teach you by blood. You can look around and see what they left behind. No matter how they try to destroy it, they stole it, it's in their museum. You can go there and learn. See the greatness of your ancestors, their exploits. Many of us in Africa, we don't know about our great ancestral exploits or wisdom in Ghana, in Mali, in Egypt, in Ethiopia. They are still standing there today, but we don't know because they never taught us about them. And even they taught us about them, one day we say, okay, let me just go and see. They hid them from us, teaching us about Mungo Park, teaching us about the whole world, geography and all that nonsense, teaching us about the history of the whole world, but not our history. And you say they did good for you because after graduation, you begin to work or begin to steal as a politician. You say, yeah, because you're educated, you're an educated fool. You don't know yourself. You are still a fool. You are still a slave. The people that taught Abraham in the Bible, the people that taught Moses in the Bible, the people that taught Jesus in the Bible, they were your ancestors according to the Bible. And today you believe it is the white people that are teaching you. We know better than them, and they know that. Our ancestors can teach us better through what they left behind for us. But those thieves came, according to John chapter 10, verse 10. Those thieves came to steal, to kill, and destroy. And that's what they did to what our ancestors left behind. They stole them. We are going to get them back. There is a blood and there is remnant. There is blood and remnant. There are still some pieces hanging everywhere, like the pyramids and the Sphinx. That is the remnant of the greatness, exploits of our ancestors. You still see those temples in Ethiopia, those temples in Egypt, our ancestors built. They are still there. They invented everything. They put it on the wall. The enemies burned the book. But what about what is on the wall? And they stole some of the books. They say they hid them in the Vatican and other places. But they are coming out. Because we will recover what is ours. Our ancestors also wrote books, and they're beginning to find them. Some of them, they call them the tomb texts, pyramid texts, and all that. Our ancestors were great indeed. We need to restore our power to recover our heritage. Or they demonize what our ancestors left behind to ensure they enslave us mentally. But we are waking up and dignifying them through historical facts. Historical facts. Don't tell me, hey, what white man wrote? No, I don't mean what white people wrote. No, I mean what our ancestors documented. They were well documented, and we are finding them today to see how great our ancestors were. They cannot deny or contradict or debunk what our ancestors have done to everyone in the world today. Our greatness is rooted in our ancestral wisdom, which is the knowledge of ourselves. When we know ourselves, we begin to restore our power and recover our heritage. We need to know ourselves as a people. Know what our ancestors has done, not what God has done, because God has not done anything under the sun. There is no such thing as what God has done, what Jehovah has done, what Allah has done, what Yahweh has done, what Jesus has done, because they never existed. It is always what our great ancestors has done, and which is obvious to the whole world today. You can even Google them to know yourself. We must know, then we must do. If you don't know, you will not do the right thing. You have to know the right history of your ancestors so you can do the right thing, because you are connected. You are one with your ancestors. You're supposed to continue and develop from where they stop. It is not ancestral curse. There's nothing about our ancestors that brings curse to us. Nothing. Our ancestors did not commit any atrocities to attract curse to us. Rather, those who invaded, enslaved, killed, kidnapped, lynched, enslaved our ancestors, they are the ones that are supposed to be suffering curse. Not you. How can you be the one suffering? The children of the victim. How can you be the one suffering while the culprit is the one enjoying? The evil ones are the one enjoying, and you, the good ones, you are suffering. You say it is God's will. Which God? Fuck that God. If you see that God. It is not ancestral cause, Africans, but ancestral greatness, ancestral blessedness, ancestral blessings, ancestral powers, ancestral. That's what we have. And that's what we must recover. That's what we must take back. Know your root and return to your root. You don't just know your root and say, anyway, one day. No, you know your root. You have to do all it takes to go back to your root. Don't be shy. Don't say what people will say. It doesn't matter what they say. You stand to lose nothing but to gain everything if you can be bold and consider your ancient African ancestors. I don't mean you are African Christian ancestors. I don't mean you are African Muslim ancestors. I don't mean you are African Jewish ancestors. I don't mean you are African Hebrews ancestors. I mean you are Africans, ancient ancestors. That's what I am talking about. And I wish you get it. and begin to consider your ancestors because they care about us. Peace.